Today I was thinking we would work our way to Half Moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana, and Revolved Half Moon, Parvritta Ardha Chandrasana. We haven't done those for a while. They're challenging poses, and to get into the revolved version, we might do the revolved Trikonasana, Parvritta Trikonasana, revolved triangle before revolved half moon, so it helps us to go into that sequence. Maybe a few forward bends. I know a lot of people struggle with seated forward bends, especially when the legs are spread wide. So I'm going to include that a little bit more. But just be careful on that one. It can be quite a stretch on the back, so just go into it carefully and you'll be fine. We need to be nicely warmed up. It's always good to do that towards the end of a class. Close the eyes. Resting the hands on the legs. Chin very slightly tucked, well, ideally parallel to the ground, head back, keeping neck length, keeping the neck nicely lined up with the spine. Bring attention to the breath. Starting to take longer, deeper breaths, inhaling through the nose, filling the lungs. Exhale through the nose. Try and make the exhale just as long as the inhale. Long, slow, deep breaths. You can hear the sound of your breath. Not like it's super loud, but you can hear the air flowing through the throat on the inhales and exhales. Each inhale, trying to take a little bit deeper, a little bit more air pulled in. So try this. Breathe in as much as you can. And then see if you can breathe in a little bit more. And then release. Breathe in through the nose. Pull a little bit more air in. And then release. One more. Breathe in. A little bit more, and then release. Okay, next we breathe in again. And then this time we hold the breath for a second or two, and then we release. Breathe in. Pause and breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. Pause and then breathe out. Regular breathing. Work on the shoulders, bringing one shoulder forward, up, back and down. Other side, and then just up and down. Do whatever feels good. Interlace the hands, so really push those fingers into each other. Extend the arms forward, shoulders back. I'm going to hold this for a little bit longer than usual. So try and drop the shoulders, pull them back and relax the shoulders a little bit. Trying to get the arms straight. Palms facing forward, stretching out the hands and the fingers. We're breathing. We keep the fingers interlaced and we start bringing the arms up to the ceiling, trying to frame the face. Keep the shoulders happy. Bring the arms forward if you need to, if it's too much on the shoulders. But eventually we're going to frame the face, frame the head. Good stretch on the arms. We're getting taller, pulling the belly in, and then we bring the hands down. We're going to interlace the hands the other way. So normally we do it in one way, we're going to do it the other way, but this time behind the back. We pull the shoulders down, shoulder blades together. We look up as we start to hinge forward. Go as far as you can and then look towards the ground as you bring the arms up towards the ceiling. And then we come back up. Extend the right arm. I'm doing the mirror image. Extend the right arm forward, parallel to the ground, shoulder back. And then start to pull that arm in. Pull above the elbow, finding a gentle stretch. Just a nice, easy stretch. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, starting to pull the arm in a little bit closer. Inhale. Exhale, the arm comes in a little bit closer. Then we're going to add a twist. So we start twisting. You're going to be twisting towards your left. So if your right arm is pulled in, you're twisting towards the left. And you're trying to look over that left shoulder. Inhale. We come back to center. We bring the other arm up, shoulder back. We start to pull that arm in. Easy stretch. Gentle stretch. Inhale. Exhale. We go a little deeper. Make the most of that breath. Let that breath help you go deeper into a stretch. Feel the stretch, but don't let it hurt. Not too intense, but feel it. Start the twist. So if your left arm is pulled in, you're twisting to the right. And then we come back to center. Move those shoulders again. So as I was saying earlier, we're going to work our way to Half Moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana, and Revolved Half Moon, which is Parvritta Ardha Chandrasana. Let's do a side stretch, gate pose. So we're high up on the knees, and we're going to take the right leg over to the side, lined up with the hips, toes pointing towards the ceiling, and we slide that right hand down the leg. We bring the other arm up. You want to try and get length first, so you're reaching towards the ceiling, and then you're bringing that arm over the head, and we're stretching out all the side ribs, the hip. And you're breathing. Keeping that extended leg active. And then we come out of the pose, and you can use the hands if you need to. It's easier to transition. Other side, sliding that left hand down the leg, reaching up, reach more, reach as much as you can, and then take that side stretch. And then we come back up. Come onto your back. We're going to go up and down into bridge. And we're going to use the breath. On the inhale, we push into the ground, lift the hips up. Whenever you're ready, inhale, pushing into the ground, lifting those hips up. We're keeping the gaze towards the ceiling. Exhale, we slowly come down and we relax for a moment. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming down. You're keeping the legs parallel, using the strength of the legs and the glutes to come up and to bring yourself down slowly. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Getting into a rhythm. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Couple more. Inhale. Exhale. Really push into the ground just before you bring those hips up, pushing that lower back into the ground. And then as you come down this time, just totally relax. Extend the legs, extend the arms over the head. Take a full body stretch. And then try and get a little bit more length. And then walk the feet in. Pull the knees in close, hold on to the back of the legs. We're going to rock ourselves into boats, so lift the head up, and you might be a couple of backward and forward rocks. Trying to balance on the sit bones, getting the back neutral. Hold on to the legs to begin with. You can stay like this. If you want more challenge, arms either side of the legs. Even more challenge, the legs are straight, toes, kneecaps up towards the ceiling. You're breathing. This is going to work the core. If you're shaking, that's fine. It means you're working. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We pull the feet in and we come onto our hands and knees and do our old favourite cat-cow. Inhale, belly down, head up. Exhale, round in the back, tucking the chin. Inhaling into cow, exhaling into cat. I seem to do this every class. I think this is really good. Great way to warm the spine up. Get some mobility there. Get those joints oiled. Trying to go a little deeper each time. Rounding the back, tucking the chin as you inhale. Is that right? No. Dropping the belly, lifting the head as you inhale. Exhale. You round in the back, tucking the chin. Come into neutral. Actually, let's come into Sphinx. A little bit of a back bend in Sphinx. Now when we do the flow, if upward facing dog or cobra is not your pose, then this is a nice alternative. This isn't nice and easy. You've supported with the forearms, so you could always come into Sphinx instead. But what we're going to do, we're going to come into a forearm plank. So make sure the elbows are underneath the shoulders. I like to have my hands made into fists. So make fists with the hands, tuck the toes, and bring those hips up into neutral. Not too high, not too low. Nice neutral. A lot of people sink between the shoulder blades. Try not to do that. Try and lift that area up towards the ceiling. You're looking between the hands for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We swivel on one elbow. I'm going to face you guys. I'm swiveling on the right elbow. And I'm bringing the other arm up. Side plank. Try not to drop the hips. If you need to, top foot can be on the ground in front of you, or the bottom knee can be down. This is a tough one. So really push into that ground. Reach up. Might make it a little bit easier. Don't drop the head. We come into forearm plank. Side forearm plank other side. Get those feet stacked. Maybe bring the top foot down in front of you. Push into the ground. Reach towards the ceiling. And then we come back down and we relax for a breath or two. Back into Sphinx. And then walk the knees underneath the hips. Bring the palms together. Elbows no wider than shoulders. Tuck the toes, hips come up. Don't be tempted to walk the feet back. And so we're setting up for dolphin here. So to begin with, shoulders are over the elbows, and then we're trying to get those shoulders further back with the breath. Inhale, exhale, pulling those shoulders back. Inhale, and then further back still. And then take 3 or 4 breaths. And then we bring the knees down. We come into child's pose. Just relax. Back onto your hands and knees. Thread the needle. We're going to take the right arm behind the left arm, and you're resting on the right arm, the right side of the face. You're reaching with that bottom arm towards the side of the room, so you can feel that back gently stretching out. Other hand pushed into the ground, elbow up towards the ceiling. And we take about 4 or 5 breaths here. We come back on our hands and knees, and we do thread the needle on the other side. Bringing the other arm to the ground, resting the head on the ground, reaching towards the side of the room. Top arm, top hand pushed into the ground, elbow towards the ceiling. 4 or 5 breaths. We come back onto our hands and knees. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. So let's hold down dog a little bit longer than usual. So look at the feet. The feet are more or less hip distance apart. It doesn't have to be precise. You can experiment. You can take the feet a little bit wider. You can bring them a little bit closer. All I ask is that you keep the feet parallel, the outer edges of the feet parallel. We then focus on the hands. Hands are pushed into the ground, especially the thumb and the index finger. We work up the arms and we start pulling the armpits towards the ground. The gaze is between the feet. You're trying to get more and more length. The more length you get, the less angle at the wrists, and it's easier on the wrist. Hopefully your wrists are fine on this one. Try and get deeper with the breath. Pulling the armpits down. Maybe the head is getting a little bit closer to the ground. Bend the knees if you need to get the back neutral. If you can keep the back neutral, you can then start bringing the heels closer to the ground. And then we come into plank. We bring the knees down. We pull the elbows closer so that the inside of the elbows are facing forward. We bring the chin, chest forward and down, and we're inhaling into cobra, elbows bent, hips down. We go back into downward facing dog, and we look forward. We walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up, exhale folding forward, knees bent. We come into chair and then into mountain. We held down dog a long time. It's a challenge to hold it, but it's a really good whole body stretch, I think. I find it energizing. Okay, feet parallel. Just like down dog, the feet are parallel. They can be apart or together, whatever. But make sure they're parallel. I like to touch the big toes, have the feet parallel. We inhale the arms up. We look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward again, relaxing the head. Inhale, breath call, brings us up. Exhale into mountain. Don't forget to bend the knees if you need to as you fold forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward again. Inhale, we come all the way up. Exhale into mountain. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward again. Inhale, we come all the way up. Exhale, mountain. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward again. Inhale, we come all the way up. This time we're going to keep the fingers interlaced, except for the index finger. The index finger is pointed towards the ceiling. You reach, you get length, and then we lean over to one side. I'm leaning over to the right side, trying to keep the whole body in one plane, going a little deeper with the breath. We inhale, coming up, and exhale over to the other side. We inhale, coming back up. We bring the arms down. We interlace the hands again. We pull the shoulders down and in. We then bend the knees. We rest in the belly on the legs. And we start to bring those arms up to the ceiling. Take your time. Just go part way up with the arms. Try and relax the shoulders a little bit. And then see if they go any further. Moving slowly. And then we bring the arms down. We roll up. We sweep the arms up on the inhale. Exhale back into mountain. Okay, come to the front of the mat. Bend the knees. Inhale into chair. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We walk into plank. Knees down, chin chest forward and down. Inhaling into cobra. Looking up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up, extended down dog. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in warrior one. Hold warrior one for a breath or two. Exhale into warrior two. Hold warrior two. Reverse warrior. Let's hold warrior. Let's hold reverse warrior. And then we flow to the other side. We come into plank. Chaturanga on these chin chest to ground. Cobra or up dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhale the other leg up. Extended down dog. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. Warrior one. Breath or two. Warrior two. Hold. Reverse warrior. And then we come into plank. And we hold plank. Plank, wiggle the toes back, get the heels over the toes, push into the ground, look between the hands. You can bring the knees down if you need to. Try not to sink between the shoulders. Don't let the hips drop like this. Don't bring the hips up too high. Get them into neutral. Get the benefit of the pose. Now we bring the knees down, chin chest forward and down, inhaling into cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath or two in down dog. We look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, folding forward. Knees stay bent as we come up into chair and then mountain. Inhale into chair. Now this time we're going to do a chair twist. So I'm going to bring my outer right arm onto the outer part of the left leg, bringing the palms together, coming into a twist. We look at the feet. So if you're twisting to the left, you're going to take the right leg back, coming into a crescent twist. If this is difficult to hold, you can bring the knee down. If you can hold this pose, try spreading the arms, bringing the right arm down, other arm up, and breathe. We bring the palms back together. We bring the hands either side of the front foot. Plank. Chaturanga on these chin chest to ground. Cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Hold down dog, recenter. We look forward, we walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, folding forward. Knees stay bent. We're back in chair. And we do the twist in the other direction. So what happens in the chair twist sometimes is that one knee comes more forward than the other knee. So try and keep the knees in line, if you can. So if you're twisting to the right, we're going to take the left leg back into a high lunge twist, a crescent twist. Knee comes down if you need to. If your knee is up, you can spread the arms. Challenging. We bring the palms back together. We bring the hands either side of that front foot. We come into plank, chaturanga, inhaling to up dog. Exhale, down dog. And I think we'll take a little breather, come into child's pose. And then just come up, sit on the heels. Challenging little transition, chair twist to crescent twist. But I like doing that. Okay, a little bit of a back bend. Bring the hands lined up with the toes, tuck the chin, open the chest. So the shoulders are pulled down and in. And we're going to keep the elbows slightly bent. We're opening that chest. Head goes back very carefully. If you feel anything in the neck, keep the chin tucked. And maybe bring those hips up. Opening the whole front body. And breathe. See how deep you can make those breaths. Expanding those ribs. Opening that chest. And then we bring the sit bones down. We slide the hands forward. And we come back into downward facing dog. We look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale as you fold forward, knees bent, we're back in chair, and then we come all the way up. Shake the hands out, move those shoulders, whatever feels good. Just swing the arms from side to side a little bit. Okay, we're going to do the flow, Warrior 1, Warrior 2, and Ardha Chandrasana. Ardha Chandrasana. Some people like to have a block. The block may well be useful. Make sure you guys can see me. So let's move this up a little bit. There we go. Too much. So have the block handy. We'll come to the front of the mat. Inhale into chair. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We walk into plank. Chaturanga on these chin chest to ground. Cobra or up dog, opening that chest, looking up. Engage the core as you transition to down dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. we come into Warrior One. And then we exhale into Warrior Two. Reverse Warrior. So Half Moon. I'm going to place the block. You can have it full height or half height. I'm going to have mine at half height. It's in front of me. It's to the outside of the foot. And then I'm going to do Reverse Warrior. And this gives me a little bit of momentum so I can bring that right hand down, the left leg up. So my block is in front. So we're making a rectangle with that bottom arm and the hand. We're stacking the arms, and you're trying to bring that top leg so it's lined up with the hips and the top shoulder. You're pushing the heel out, and you're really trying to keep that top arm lined up with the back. And you're breathing. Half Moon, Ardha Chandrasana, a challenging balance pose. If you can't hold it, you could be against a wall, pushing the foot and the hand into the wall if you need to. We come back out into Warrior Two. The revolved version, let's do Revolved Trikonasana first. So we're straightening the leg and we're bringing that left hand down. So if your right foot is forward, left hand is on the ground. You then start bending the knee and you shift the block to the inside of the foot and you open up to the other side. So we're trying to add a little bit of a twist. You've still got that rectangle between the arm, the leg, the floor and the ribs. You're trying to open up. And then we come back as carefully as we can into Warrior Two. Challenging pose. Let's flow to the other side. Plank, Chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. We bring the left leg up and we sweep that foot through and we're in Warrior One. We come into Warrior Two. We do a Reverse Warrior and then we come into Ardha Chandrasana. Popping the back foot off the ground, using a block if you need to. Opening up, activating that top foot, straight lines. We come back down, and then we'll do Revolved Trikonasana. So that front leg is straight, you're bringing the hand down, and then you start bending the knee. As you walk that foot forward, you shift the block to the inside of the foot, but it's still in front of you. And we do the Revolved Parvritta Ardha Chandrasana. Challenging pose. We come back down and get ourselves into Warrior Two. Reverse Warrior, and we're into Plank. Chaturanga, up dog, down dog, knees down, and we're resting child's pose. Okay, challenging poses. Warrior Two. So we're going to do Half Moon again. I'm going to show you a bit of a variation. So we reach forward, we're on the block. You've got the leg, the arm nice and parallel to each other. Don't drop the head. Top arm nicely stacked, lined up with the bottom arm. Top foot, you're pushing the heel out. Couple of variations. First one, you can take that bottom hand, you can bring it to the heart. Balance is a challenge. Next option, you take hold of that top foot and you push the foot into the hand. Maybe you can combine the two, I'm not going to. And then we come back down into Warrior Two. Take the block, swivel on the heels, pop the block down, Warrior Two other side. And then you do a reverse warrior, and then just the reverse warrior first, so it just gives you a little bit of option to get a little bit of momentum as you come into that half moon pose. Pushing out the heel of that top foot, maybe bring that bottom hand to the heart and the hand back down, maybe holding on to that top foot. It's a challenging pose, especially if this is a new pose for you guys. And then we come back down, Warrior Two. As I say, if that is really difficult, start off in Warrior Two against a wall, and then half moon, and you can push the hand and the foot toes into the wall, and you can get a little bit of assistance there. Reverse warrior, and we come into plank. Chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog, and we bring the knees down, and we just rest in child's pose. And we come up. So another thing I said we would do, we would work our way into a wide, the legs are stretched out wide, a seated forward bend. A lot of stretch on the inside of the legs, bit of a stretch on the back. You've got to be careful with that pose. Before we do that, nice way to stretch out and prepare for it is to take the legs nice and wide with the block underneath the shoulders. Feet are wide apart, feet are parallel. So I just like to do this so the block is directly under my shoulders, the back is neutral, and then we just stretch out on one side. So we're straightening one leg as we bend the opposite knee, we come up and then we're over to the other side. And we're just moving from side to side with the breath. We inhale coming up and we exhale going down. Inhale, exhale. Try and keep the foot solidly on the ground. Try not to come onto the inside of the foot as you straighten the leg. Just moving with the breath. Maybe going a little deeper each time. And then keep one leg straight, one knee bent. Inhale, come up, and then over to the other side, and hold that. Even out the legs. Put the block to one side. Take the feet a little bit wider if you can, keeping the feet parallel. Bring the hands shoulder width apart so the fingers are lined up with the toes, and you're pushing into the ground and you start to hinge forward, tucking the chin. A little bit more weight on the toes. And then we walk the hands forward and we start bringing the toes together, heel, toe, heel, toe. And then we come onto the mat and come onto your back. So just come onto your back and just pull the knees in, hug the knees and just rock from side to side. So there's something different on my screen. Oh yeah, I think it was just where the mouse was pointed to. That's all. Okay, so you're on your back. So this is another good one for stretching out the inside of the legs. It's happy baby with the legs straight out. So let's start in regular happy baby. You pull in the knees in and we'll just rock a little bit, just massaging the back. Happy baby, we hold on to the feet. And we're trying to get the legs a little bit closer to the ground. So the legs are out slightly outside the ribs. You're trying to get the tailbone as close to the ground as you can. I'm using quite a lot of arm strength here and breathing. You can hold on to the inside of the feet, the outside of the feet, or whatever. Now as we straighten the legs, I like to hold on to the big toes with my palms facing each other. So my first two fingers, index finger, middle finger, and the thumb around the big toe, and then we try and extend the legs into a V position. As we're doing that, we're trying to do more of a dog tilt. We're getting the tailbone closer to the ground. You're pulling the shoulders away from the ears. You're trying to straighten the legs. Maybe you can, maybe not. It's feeling a stretch down the inside of those legs. Breathe. We then bend the knees. We're keeping hold of the toes. We lift the head up and we rock. We're going to try and come up and balance on the sit bones, keeping the feet off the ground. Not as easy as it seems. We then extend the legs again into a V position. Again, you're pulling the shoulders down. You're trying to get that back nice and neutral. We then very quickly release the leg, feet, and hold onto the back of the legs. We're in boat. And we can hang out in boats like this. Or we could bring the arms either side of us. Again, we're trying to get that back neutral. And we slowly lower. Not all the way, so the legs are off the ground. We support the head. Head is off the ground. You're pushing the lower back into the ground. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we come all the way down. And we relax for a breath or two. We walk the feet in again. Knees pulled in. Hold onto the back of the legs and we rock ourselves up. Now this time, we're going to extend the right leg forward and we pull the left foot inside that extended leg. This is a single-legged forward bend, Janushirsasana, something like that. And kneecap, toes up towards the ceiling. We come into a neutral back. We inhale as we sweep those arms up, looking up. Reach up and hinge forward at the hips. Have a strap if you need to. If you can't reach the foot, have a strap. We do a little bit of rocking maybe. We come up slightly. We bring those hips forward. You're trying to get as much dog tilt as you can. We're trying not to round the back too much. Be careful with forward bends. If you feel anything in the back, it's just an easy stretch. It doesn't hurt. If this starts to hurt the back, you come higher. I'd rather you be high like this than rounding and putting pressure on the back. So if you feel any discomfort, if the back starts to complain, please come back up. Take care of yourselves. Eventually, we're going to come all the way down, and with the whole front body is going to be resting on that leg, and the forehead is on the leg. Take your time doing that. The hands, if you can get your hands around the foot, another thing you could do is, if your left leg is extended, you can take hold of the left wrist with the right hand and then start coming down. But a lot of us are just going to be holding onto the foot, or we're going to be using a strap. We switch. Assist that straight leg with the hand. Other leg is extended. You bring the foot inside the thigh. We sit tall. We inhale, bringing the arms up, looking up, and we gently fold forward, using a strap if you need to, maybe a little bit of rocking. We come up slightly, we pull those hips forward again, and then we gently fold forward. And you can repeat that a few more times, coming up, pulling the hips forward, and then fold forward. That lets you go a little deeper. It gets a little bit more opening, more hinging at the hip. And as I say, once you've got all the way down, you can grab hold of that wrist. If your right leg is forward, you can take hold of the right wrist with the left hand, and then you can come all the way down. Okay, forward bends are challenging. We don't do as many probably as we should. The wide-legged seated forward bend. Probably one of the most hated poses, because everyone struggles with this, right? So we try and get the legs nice and wide. That's why we were doing those legs wide, and we're going from side to side. We were doing the happy baby pose with the legs extended into a V. This is a challenge. You need stretchy legs, especially the inside of the legs, stretchy hamstrings, open hips. The feet, heels are pushed out, toes up towards the ceiling. We're taking the legs pretty wide, and then just try walking the fingers forward a little bit. Just see how that feels. And as you're walking the fingers forward, you're hinging at the hips. So we've got that hinge at the top of the femur. You can push into that area if you want. So we're just walking, and maybe this is as far as your body wants you to go. Just listen to your body. Maybe it'll let you go a little bit further. Maybe it'll let you bring the forearms to the ground. Maybe it'll let you bring your head closer to the ground. You could try stacking the fists. You could have a block and just rest the forehead on the block, just like this. And then we come back up. Challenging pose. Assist the legs. Bring the fingers behind the knees and just bring them back up. That's the best part, right? Sometimes coming out of a pose. Sit in a comfortable position, resting the hands on the legs. Close the eyes and breathe. Bring the right ear to the right shoulder, stretching out the left side of the neck. Just let gravity do the work. You're not forcing the head down, you're just letting it happen. You're just letting that head get heavier with each breath. We keep that side stretch of the neck, but we bring the head a little bit more forward. Just finding different areas in the neck that need a little bit of extra attention. Again, we're keeping that side stretch, but we take the head backward. And then we inhale the head up to neutral, and we take the head over to the other side. Take your time. Stretching out the other side of the neck, keeping the shoulders soft, and then we start to bring the head a little bit more forward, and just find an area that's a little bit tighter, that needs a little bit extra tension, and just hold it there. And then we take the head backward, and then we bring the head back to neutral, back to center. Chin to the chest. Now this time we're going to take the hands behind the head, just to encourage the chin in a little closer, stretching out the back of the neck. And then we bring the head back up. Let's go into a seated twist. So pull your right foot in towards you. The leg can be straight, especially if you have any knee issues. If your knee is good, you can pull the foot in. Take the other foot inside or outside the leg, keeping that foot solidly on the ground, and then you're going to take the twist. You can hug the knee, or you can use that arm as a leverage. Whatever you do, if the shoulder's coming up like this towards the ear, hugging the knee makes it a little bit easier. Try not to shrug the shoulders up. Inhale, get tall. Exhale into the twist. Take about 3 or 4 breaths. Inhale, we unwind. We switch legs. And we bring the other foot inside or outside that lower leg. The lower leg can be straight, extended if you prefer. We hug the knee, or we bring the arm outside as a leverage. So to get my arm a little deeper, I have to round my back to begin with. And then I straighten up and I get length. I bring the shoulders down and then I go into that twist. And breathe. And then we unwind. We bring the soles of the feet together. Baddha Konasana. Maybe rock a little bit from side to side as the feet get a little closer in. Sitting on something if the knees are high or the back is rounded. Get the back neutral and then just bring the knees up and down. Just flap the wings of the butterfly. This is also called butterfly pose. Become still and then see if you can encourage those legs a little bit closer to the ground. Baddha Konasana. Close the eyes and breathe. And then we slowly come out of the pose, come onto your back. The feet are in, close, but wider than hips. And then we windshield wipe, taking the legs from side to side with the breath. Inhale as the knees come up, exhale as they go down. Supta Baddha Konasana. We bring another version of butterfly. We bring the soles of the feet together. Keep length in the neck, tucking the chin, bringing the head down. Arms can be either side of you, they can be on the belly, they can be on the legs. If they're on the legs, you're just trying to gently encourage the legs lower. If the hips don't like this, you could slide blocks underneath the legs. If If you don't have blocks, the hips are not happy, come into Shavasana. Close the eyes and just relax for a few breaths. You can hold longer, but whenever you're ready, we can come into a full body stretch, reaching the arms over the head. A little bit of a side stretch. A couple of breaths on one side, and then a couple of breaths on the other side. And then we recenter and into Shavasana. Eyes closed, arms either side of your palms face up. Relax the feet, relax the legs, letting the legs get heavy, the hips, the back getting heavier. The shoulders, the arms and the head heavy, just letting yourself sink into the ground. Breathing is regular. Just make sure you're not holding tension anywhere. You know, sometimes we're holding tension in the shoulders or the face, so just check those areas out in particular. Make sure they're not stressed or tensed up. Keep attention on the breath. Trying to stay focused. And sometimes, you know, be aware of what's going on. Can you hear any other noises? I can hear the refrigerator. Sometimes a little bit of creaking, maybe the birds outside. And then come back to the breath. Stretch the hands out. Trying to get as much space between the fingers as you can. Stretch out the feet, stretch out the toes. And then just relax the hands and feet. And then stretch out again, hands and feet, fingers and toes. And then relax. One more time, stretch out and relax. Walk the feet in, roll over to your side, keeping the eyes closed. Take about 3 or 4 breaths. And then gently push yourself into a seated position. Inhale as you sweep the arms up, looking up, palms together. Exhale, bringing the arms down. Inhale as the arms come up. Exhale down. 2 or 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Keep the palms together. Bring the hands to the forehead. Namaste. Okay. Good job. Ardha Chandrasana, challenging pose. If it's a struggle in the middle of the room, as I say, come into Warrior 2 against a wall. Have a block handy. And then push your toes into the wall as you come into Half Moon. And push your hand into the wall. And once you've got the practice against the wall, then it'll be much easier in the center of the room. If you want to practice the revolved version, you're still against the wall, but you're back to the wall, Warrior 2. And then you do the revolution into the Revolved Ardha Chandrasana. And again, you've got the wall there to keep you balanced.